What's up, guys? This video I'm gonna run you guys through how to not only improve, physically with running, but also, what it takes to really get past that initial barrier that a lot of people run into when they're first starting out, and that mental block that a lot of people face when it comes to really upping the distance and pushing themselves physically, and mentally. If you're new to the channel, my name's Alberto. My friends call me Berto Chain. Right now I'm currently 7 weeks out from completing my first ultra marathon. So that's a 34-mile trail race in Jersey. So I'm pretty excited about that. Training's been going well. I kind of was sick last week, so that kind of put a hitch in things, but no worries. I just been really getting my diet right, locking in. Honestly, I'm considering signing up for a bodybuilding show as well. I think that'll be pretty cool to show you guys, and it just complements the running as well. Maybe not so much for the muscle building, but definitely the fact running is going to help me get leaner. For this training, I've only been running about 3 days a week. That's because when I initially trained for my marathon, I found that the more continuous I kept running, like back-to-back days, that's when I started getting injuries. And that's where it was like it wasn't allowing my body to fully recover. It might be different for you, it might be different for somebody else, but having those days in between really helped me out and helped me stay healthy. Mondays are my normal runs, Wednesdays are my tempo, and Fridays are my long runs. So right now, this week, I ran 8 miles on Monday, zone 2. So if you guys don't know what zone 2 is, that's basically the heart rate range where you really could build that aerobic base and really just improve, and overall, like in simple terms, it just makes you feel not as tired when you're running at the same pace. So I'm doing that on Monday, and then today's Wednesday, so today's my tempo run. I'm doing 5 mile repeats. So I'll do 1 mile fast, and then probably a 2-minute break, and then another mile fast, and then I do that for 5 miles, and that's just to build that speed so I can get to where I'm going a lot quicker. And that one's today's gonna be very hard, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm kind of used to it now. And then Fridays are my long runs. I try to keep those easy. It depends on how I'm feeling, but the main objective is to get that longer distance. So for this week, I'm running 12 miles. Something light. I'm used to it. I've been upping my mileage about 1% each week. So, we're just getting there. And, it's almost time for, game time shit. So if you're considering, starting to run, get into running, you got to make sure you have the proper running shoes. I recommend going to a running store or something, and they'll watch you walk. And, it's based off the arch of your foot. And so that's basically, if you start running in normal shoes, you're going to just start feeling pain in your joints. It's just your joints, your ankles, your knees. It's not the wave, okay? You got to go to the running store, get proper running shoes. That's your investment in your training. That's in your investment into your health. So that's step 1. So the main thing you got to focus on when you're trying to improve your running is, be patient. It's going to be a gradual increase. You're not going to just up a mile a day and do it every day, because that's how you get injured. A lot of people think of it, that, they simplify it that much, and that's really not going to work, in the long run. You got to really take care of your body and be patient and realize, you're not going to run 10 miles, with a week's worth of training. Maybe if you're already an athlete or you already have some physical capability, but I'm telling you, if you're patient, take your time with the training and planning everything out, it's gonna work. You just gotta really, commit and, believe in yourself that you could do it. Because a lot of people, they hear the 8 miles or something like that, and then they're like, I don't know if I could run that far. And it's like, no, you can. Look at your training. You've been, you put that work in. You just gotta do the training. So if you wanna, improve in running and really get to improve your overall fitness in general, you got to plan it out, and you got to do that training. Just really, really, really focus on zone 2 training. Just like how I said earlier, it makes running feel a lot easier. Once running feels easy, there's like no limit. That's why I'm addicted to it right now. It's not like it's as hard as it was, my first time ever running. It's like I'm like a car now. It's like I'm on cruise control, just going my distance. That's how you got to look at it. You got to tackle it until it's easy. And then you can start making it harder, start upping the distance. Those tempo days are a pain in my ass, but it's all part of the beauty. And so zone 2, you got to do it. Just do it. When you first start off, you're going to probably be running like 11:40 pace, maybe 12-minute pace, maybe 10-minute pace, I don't know. But you're going to be going slower than you like would normally run, and that's all part of it. That just shows you that you got a lot of training ahead of you if you want to really get to that level. If you want to get to that level, just stay consistent, be patient with your progress, and just believe in yourself that you could do it. Because if you don't believe in yourself that you could do it, you're not gonna be able to do it. That's like plain and simple. If you think you're gonna fail a test, you're probably gonna fail it. You gotta put that work in, put that studying in, and then show up when it's time to take the exam. Alright guys, just knocked out my run, so I just finished up studying as well. I ran 5 miles, those mile repeats I was telling you about. Ran about 8:14 pace. Today was pretty hot compared to the other days, and I did it outside compared to the treadmill, so I deal with those hills and stuff, but that's pretty good considering I was sick all last week. And just keep trying to do better every time. And so now you guys know, I talked about this earlier, I'm about to go to the gym. Running as well. If you want to improve, you got to make sure you strength train. Strength training is a key. It's definitely something you got to think about when you don't want to get injured all the time as well. You're taking those extra rest days, but also strengthening those tendons, those muscles through that strength training will really help you be like bulletproof. And so that's what I plan on doing right now. I'm hitting legs, and should be good, so I'll catch you guys there.